Well, welcome to our September 2025 Startup Minot session. My name is Mark Lyman. I'm with the Minot Area Chamber EDC. We've been doing this for just almost 4 years now and love having our speakers come in. So we'll thank Heidi in advance, but we'll do an introduction for her in just a minute. For those who may not be very familiar with our Startup Minot program, this is designed to encourage, invigorate, and entice entrepreneurs to go outside the box, to start their business idea, to try something new. I see some familiar faces here with us, but I know we'll have some people joining online. We are always on the second Thursday of the month, and I always say we're here at the Carnegie Center. I'm gonna have to put a slight asterisk on that because next month, we're actually hosting the Economic Developers Association of North Dakota conference in Minot. So we're gonna move our Startup Minot event for October to Alshire Theater at Hartnett Hall on the campus of Minot State University. So I will put up a sign on the door, and if you come, I would just please hightail it over there. We're gonna do something special as part of the conference and do our Startup Minot event at Alshire Theater in Hartnett Hall. So today we're gonna have a great conversation. These networking events feature amazing guest speakers. Heidi and I are gonna have a conversation about her amazing Jamaican food. As a heads up, she's got some juice that's in the back, and so please try that juice. What's the flavor again?
It's handmade. It's mango, pineapple, ginger, watermelon. It's our summer blend. It's the last make of that.
It's the last make of it.
It is the last make of it.
So limited time only.
Yeah, so basically,
So try it out.
if you want it today, it's gonna be at the restaurant, but that's it. When it's gone, it's gone.
It's gone, it's gone, okay. I wanna recognize that many partners make this happen. The North Dakota Small Business Development Centers, Source Basin Planning Council, Credence Energy, Minot Area Chamber EDC, Dakota Business Lending, many others from the private sector. Jonah Lanto, who usually does the MC for this, couldn't make it today. All of those individuals are part of the Startup Minot effort. We have a lot of sponsors who make this possible. Our presenting sponsor is First Western Bank and Trust. We also have sponsorships from Minot Area Chamber EDC, ND Small Business Development Centers, Bank of North Dakota, Brevera, Town and Country Credit Union, First International Bank and Trust, Cornerstone Bank, Credence Energy Services, People's State Bank, and Dakota Business Lending. A lot of people who lend money. So they support a lot of entrepreneurs, and so we want you to support them as well. So if you didn't know already, this is an 8 to 10 minute, maybe 15-minute conversation, depending on how talkative Heidi and I get, and then we're gonna open it up to some Q&A to the audience, and then we'll have time to make sure that everyone has a chance to network a little bit. Please take advantage of the coffee and donuts and the juice as well. So let's introduce our guest speaker this morning, someone who makes, whose business makes amazing food, Heidi Lindsay. Let's give a round of applause to Heidi. So here's a little bit about Heidi. She grew up in Minot. She met her husband, Steve, who is from Jamaica in 2010. In their more than 15 years of marriage, they have 3 children. They started their entrepreneur journey in 2015 with a janitorial service. Is that right? S&H?
Yes, S&H Lindsay Cleaning Services, and then we eventually switched over to S&H Janitorial.
Okay. It's a business which later added also a moving service. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And then their interest turned to food. I mean, I can't blame you. Food is great. They bought in January of 2022 a food truck, which became Jamaican Vybz Kitchen food truck. And then the Lindsays were conservative at first. They ended up doubling and eventually tripling the amount of food they prepared, which is a great problem to have.
In a food truck, it's really hard.
But it's impossible in a food truck to do that kind of food.
Really hard.
So we had to go to events, she said. We'd be out of food in 2 to 3 hours and have people standing in line to order. So clearly people wanted your food.
Yeah.
So the decision was made to look for a permanent restaurant location for Jamaican Vybz Kitchen. They first started at the main medical building just a few blocks away here in downtown Minot. That would have been 2022. Okay, so a year or two after.
3 months after we
COVID.
opened up the truck.
Okay, wow, that was fast then.
Yes.
Okay. Their Heidi and Steve's business is known for a lot of different things. It's also known for jerk knoephla soup. You know, it's so popular. Every time I go try to buy it at 5 o'clock, it's already sold out.
Except for yesterday, there was still some left.
I could have had some yesterday.
I should have messaged you.
I just have to remember to get it at lunchtime. Got to get there early because it normally sells out. And they routinely go through 400 pounds of
chicken.
And
we're doing, soup-wise, we're doing anywhere from 3 to 6 gallons a day.
Of soup?
Of soup.
Wow. So do you make that? Do you make the soup fresh every day?
Every day. All of our food is fresh every day.
Okay, well, let's jump into it then, Heidi. Let's talk about, did you ever have this in the back of your head? Hey, you know what? I'm going to open up a food truck.
So back to my husband and I actually met him at Walmart.
Okay.
So he was working hard. I had no idea that he could cook. We were actually married for 11 years when he said, hey, let's buy so-and-so's food truck. And I was like, but you have to know how to cook. But I don't do spicy food.
Okay.
So therefore, he never cooked for me other than like some curry chicken that he dumbed down for like the little North Dakota palate. And then he'd make me brown stew chicken. So of course that would be like very also dumbed down, but I didn't have any idea. Oh, and by the way, he only did bone in because that's traditional.
That's traditional. Okay.
And I don't do bones. And so that is actually, I was the inspiration of doing our boneless meat. So we do actually 400 pounds of boneless thighs.
Okay, so that is a little bit different from other, maybe a traditional
Yes,
Jamaican?
so in Jamaica, they actually take like a leg quarter and they'll cut it into a million pieces. And so yes, they will crunch the bones and it drives me absolutely crazy.
Okay, yeah, that's probably not going to fly up here very often.
No,
Yeah.
no, we don't like, you know, in North Dakota, they like convenience. I like convenience and nobody wants to deal with the bone.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, so you and Steve met. You had no idea he could cook. How did you find out about a food truck? How does a person go from where you're doing janitorial services, moving services, to finding out about a food truck?
Steve came to Minot with a work program, so he had friends, right? Those friends kind of became family. And so there was a food truck, there was a Jamaican food truck in Minot years ago, and he was moving out of state. He was moving out of town, and he had called my husband and through the grapevine asked him if he would continue to do the Jamaican food. And that gentleman turned around and he had bought some like semis. So he was doing a different business.
Okay. So you took advantage of that and moved into that business?
My husband did, yes.
Yeah. So tell us about starting small. I mean, starting a food truck is a whole lot smaller than starting a brick and mortar store. Tell us about starting small.
So first of all, you got to know where to go. Like a food truck's a very hard business, if you will, to start. Because you either have to have a permanent spot of where you're going to stay, or you have to find events. And those events sometimes they're big and sometimes they're not. And everybody wants to think that their event needs many food trucks. So you might have like 200 people at your event, but now they want 8 food trucks.
Oh, so now you're dividing up all your customers.
Now you're dividing 200 people into 8, and if it's not a food event, so I talked around to area businesses and we found Office Max. I talked to Roxy from Office Max. I said, can we park there? And she said yes. And so we still didn't know what kind of food to do, you know, because you have all this variety of food in Jamaica. What do people want in North Dakota? So it was really a guessing game.
Okay. So how did your guesses go? Did you have some wins and some losses?
Oh,
there?
we had some wins and losses. We've carried some food home before, you know. Curry chicken is not an everyday thing because people think curry is spicy. And Steve actually burns the curry before he puts it together. And that when I say burn the curry, he burns like the seasoning itself.
Sure.
And so he dumbs down the spice of it. And so we have to do more of a mild spice because in Minot, you know, there's that palate.
Palate's different.
And so then we did a lot of bone-in, and we were doing good with it. But most of the people we were having come were people that knew Jamaican food, or they were willing to try it. That's not every North Dakotan.
Okay. So then how did you end up doing marketing or advertising? How did you get the word out? Because I felt like there was a boom of food trucks over the last 5-10 years.
In 2022, there was.
Yeah.
I feel like every time we turned around, there was another food truck, and it's still like that. Mm-hmm. And it's because everybody wants to start their business, and I understand. I'll tell you, food is the hardest industry, and if I had to go back, I would be cleaning toilets all day long. I promise you. Yes, 100%.
Okay.
100%. It's the overhead for food and the overhead for cleaning is completely different. Like it's totally different. Yeah.
The sanitary and
Yeah, you know, it's just you can go and clean your janitorial spot, be done at a certain time, and still make your money where, you got this. So it's kind of a different situation there. So
Did you ever see yourself as a food entrepreneur? Did you ever see yourself as an entrepreneur before the food truck?
Yes, me personally as an entrepreneur, I actually had a photography business.
Okay.
I did photography back in 2000, so I have done.
Well, then you bounced in and out. You met your husband, you said, when you were at Walmart.
Yes, in 2010. I met Steve in 10.
So what would you do? What would you do kind of differently with those first 6 months or first year of the Jamaican Vybz food truck?
So a lot of our food didn't come invented right away. So when we first started the food truck, again, we were doing curry chicken. We were doing obviously rice and beans is what we call it.
So it doesn't actually have peas in it.
There is no peas in that.
Every time I have that conversation with you, I feel like I still miss that boat.
So
it's rice and beans.
Let me give you a quick
story.
Rice
and peas.
Quick story.
Stories. Okay.
So my husband and I, when we were getting ready to date, he came and told this North Dakotan girl that he likes rice and peas. As anybody that wants a boyfriend and wants to keep this man, I went and got me the biggest pot of the instant rice. And I found me the biggest can of green peas, and I mixed it together. And I'm like, hey, you want to come over for dinner? I've got something. He still married me. And he told me that I couldn't cook. So actually, when he said he wanted to buy a restaurant or a food truck, I was like, I'm not sure why you want me to buy one because I can't cook. But long story short on that, when you really love your spouse or you really love someone, you learn how to make what they want. And so I actually did pull up recipes. So I make a lot, now our son makes it now, but I make a lot of the rice and beans. And we actually had to start calling it coconut rice. Now people in the restaurant will think that it's flakes of coconut. It's not flakes of coconut, it's made with coconut milk. And so that's how they do it. In Jamaica, they traditionally make it over a big pot of stove or coals because a lot of them don't have
an indoor oven or sorts.
Yep. But we use pressure pots.
Okay. So talk to us about the process of preparing food. Steve is there now.
Starts at 4 a.m. every day. We do a marinating process. So it starts in the evening of the day before, or 2 days before if you want a weekend day off or a day off. So all the meat is cleaned and prepped, and then it is put in big Tupperware bowls. If you've ever seen like the big 52 cup Tupperware bowls. My husband was buying them because he thought they were cool. And little did I know when I bought my first one for popcorn, it sits in the restaurant with meat in it daily.
All the time.
Yeah.
Sure.
So they're very nice, and they store a lot of our meat. And so he does an oven baked jerk chicken, which is also not as traditional, but you couldn't tell that it was oven baked unless I told you it was oven baked. Most of our clients can't tell. We do all boneless. So he does, right now we're doing about 400 pounds of chicken a week. So that's tallying about 140, 150 pieces of chicken a day. And so when you're looking at cookie sheets in a pan and in an oven, he's doing 2 or 3 loads before we start.
And you guys open up at 10?
11.
11, okay.
11. So I'll actually leave here today and I will finish doing knoephla soup. We will do, I will do the mac and cheese sauce. Then he's already done what Steve has done already. He has done the Alfredo sauce. Zach is doing the rice and beans, and we do about 18 pots of rice and beans a day. Small batches.
And the small batches, easier to control? The small batches, why that? Is it a space limitation?
Consistency.
Okay.
Consistency is key. That's like the biggest thing about business is if you go today, you want to have the same food tomorrow. Like we had a gentleman that came in last week and he hasn't been in there in a year. He was downtown, or maybe when we first opened. And he says, I'm from Grand Forks. And the minute I walked back in the mall today, he says, it smelled just like it did a year ago. Consistency is key.
Okay. Because you keep your customers coming back and they're happy.
And they know what they want. You know, sometimes we try to change it up. Oh, this is the special. Those specials, you could probably get those specials sometimes at 5 o'clock at night because people don't know them.
They want the same thing. They know what they like.
Yes.
Can you talk to us just for a minute about the financial behind this, or the support that you might have gotten from a bank or anyone else in town, a credit union? How did that work through? You know, how did you guys get started on that?
So we actually go through First International Bank. I'm being a local, you tend to know people. So I actually went to school with Perry Olson, who was actually at First International Bank in Minot here. And I actually ran into him at a gas station. We were having problems with one of our banks when we were in the cleaning company. And I was like, hey, what are you doing? He says, this is when he had just gotten the job. Yes, right, he had just gotten the job, and I was still, and we had done a moving job, and the other bank froze my account when we were in the process of trying to get a hotel. And so I told Perry, that's just not gonna work for me. So we moved all of our services to First International Bank in 2017, 16, 17, I believe. And just having, I knew him as a kid in the 2nd grade. And so we've kind of had that friendship, that knowing each other. So he's kind of watched our story. He's kind of watched how we've grown and what we've done. So First International Bank has definitely put in a lot of trust in us. And is it always easy to take out a loan and stuff? No, because we've had fails. Like our North location failed, you know.
Can you talk to us about that process, about picking yourself up after a failure? I mean, if it's not a food truck, or if it's not a janitorial business or a second store, everyone has some moment as an entrepreneur where things don't go well. How did you work through that?
Right. So after our 1-year anniversary, so when I say our anniversary, what I call our anniversary, is not the open day of our food truck. The anniversary is the open day of our first restaurant. So it's actually September 20th. We actually moved on to the mall September 18th of last year. So September 20th is still our open date for both locations. Okay. So we'll be 3 years this year. So on our first year anniversary, we decided, hey, we want to take a break. We want to take a weekend off. So we went to Minneapolis. Minneapolis has a gentleman named Pimento, Tommy Beavis. He's got several Jamaican restaurants, and we were kind of watching, and we looked and we're like, oh my gosh, he's got an express spot. That looks amazing. And I'm like, everybody wants something on North Hill. So we went and we were looking, and the spot that we originally wanted just didn't go for us. And that was a devastating situation. So we found another one. We picked up our pieces and found this other spot. It needed a lot of work, like $20,000 worth of work. And it's up over by Delta Vacations. So we're in the strip mall over by the methadone clinic and what used to be the Rage Room. And we built this beautiful express spot. We would take food from our downtown location and bring it up there. People could, the vision. The vision was great. The idea was so perfect. There was a drive-through window, and I couldn't get anybody there. Like, I would sit there for hours and stare at myself. And I was like, we'd advertise it. We told people about it. We were giving coupons at the other location, and the military people would drive all the way from the base, all the way past that location and go straight downtown. And it was hard. And what do you do after you've already signed a 3-year lease on that one? And now your downtown location is doing okay, but it's not there, And we, in April of 2024, we got an opportunity. A man came in from the mall and he said, now we just opened up the North location February. So now we have $3,000 in rent on one, $1,500 enough. And in the downtown location, unfortunately, was not able to support
another location.
2 locations.
Sure.
This guy from the mall says, we need your food in the mall. And I'm like, I don't know how that's going to happen.
How's that going to work?
How are we going to do 3 locations? How are we going to do? By the grace of God, Steve's wife, me, took a very long time to make that decision. I did not even look at that spot until July. And I was really dragging my feet because I just felt like, how do you add basically $8,000 a month for rent? That's a hard pill to swallow. Like, we're faith-believing people. And God said go. And we did. And we closed everything down. And we moved to the mall. And it's been probably the best move we could ever do.
So if I'm hearing you, don't focus on the failures, have that faith and kind of move ahead. And even though you drug your feet for a while, how did you make that decision then? Was you talk to the bank a little bit?
No, because we just, no, I actually was kind of putting my head down because how do you talk to the bank when you've already you just took some money from them and how are you going to do that? So I did talk to Perry because we were very open about things. And I said, Perry, this is turnkey. This is turnkey. The only thing that we'll have to do is put some paint on it. But, and we had gotten offered a little hotel spot right before this. And so I was like, oh, that's free. Let's do that. That also didn't work. And so now I'm like, we have to make money. Otherwise, we're going to be going backwards and we're going to have to find something else to do. And so in July, we looked at it. At the end of July, we had made the decision to go ahead, and middle of July, the Food Truck Festival had asked us if we would be willing to come. Now, we had sold our food truck, but we had an ice castle that we cater out of. So we took the ice castle and we took it to the Food Truck Festival. And well, I'm kind of funny like this. My husband doesn't like to, he doesn't like to give out like a whole bunch of free food and stuff because it's just like, that's money and how do you do that? So I went to the meeting right at the Food Truck Festival and I was listening to them and they said, oh, there's a contest. There's a savory and a sweet. And my husband wasn't there. He was working on the truck or working on the thing. So I run over to him. I'm like, hey, can I get a jerk chicken mac and cheese? And I ran it back over to the thing and I put it over there. And lo and behold, I had told him, I said, oh yeah, by the way, I entered ourselves into a contest. And we won second place. We missed it by 1 point of the savory food contest for our jerk chicken mac and cheese.
Great. That's the trophy in the back.
That is the trophy. And in January of 24, we didn't know, but there was a customer that came by and she was like taking pictures, like our friend over here, just taking pictures. My husband goes, she must be a blogger. Well, I'm a talker. So I'm like, hey, are you a blogger? And she's like, no, actually I'm an author. Wow, an author? An author came to my restaurant? Are you kidding me? I'm like, okay. She handed me her phone number and whatever, and I didn't know anything about her. The day we opened up last year, September 18th, was the day her book was released. She actually had 100 restaurants she went to, the unique eats and eateries of North Dakota. 84 made the book. So there's actually several restaurants in Minot that's in that book. And we are on page 12. We are number 6 featured in her book.
Top 10 then.
Top 10.
Okay.
And so she says it's not in any particular order,
Sure.
But
Any good author leads with their good stuff.
Well,
I mean, if you want to hook somebody,
but,
right?
But at the end of the day, she had 35 restaurants for her 35th birthday. We were still in the top 10. And so she only featured 35 out of her book this last April. And so we were still in her top 10.
That's
so
huge. That's great.
It was cool.
That's
so,
great.
And then our last trophy, I guess, let's go on the knoephla soup. So the knoephla soup was actually in memory of my mom. How that came about, my mom actually passed away in April of 2022, right after we had bought our food truck. And then we opened up in May, our food truck. And then we opened up in September, the restaurant. So you didn't really have a whole lot of time to think. My mom and I didn't see eye to eye all the time. And, when I was sampling, I was doing all the Alfredo sauce at the time, the jerk Alfredo that's featured on almost all of our dishes because North Dakotans like Alfredo sauce. So I was testing it, and I was originally doing one type of cream, and then I switched over to the other type of cream because we ran out in Minot, and so I was tasting it. It was actually the day you guys were coming to, the day before they were coming to do the ribbon cutting. And I was tasting it. I looked at my husband. I got tears streaming down my face, and I said, well, you said you wanted a soup. We can put my mom's knoephla soup in the restaurant. My husband goes, in a Jamaican restaurant. We don't sell that in Jamaica. And I'm like, yeah, but we're not in Jamaica. We're in North Dakota. And you have to have something that catches something. You have to have something that catches the locals. And so we did. I take my mom's traditional recipe and we added the jerk seasoning to it. And we sell lots of gallons of it. Probably Well, I would say about 50 gallons a week.
Wow.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter if it's hot or cold. Like when I say that, like if it's 100 degrees outside, we sell out of knoephla soup. When it's negative 25 degrees outside, we sell out of knoephla soup. Oddly enough, when it's negative 50 degrees, I do not sell out of knoephla soup because they don't come and get it.
Because no one's coming. Right. Negative 50 is a little too cold. Yeah. Yeah. All right, one more question for you, then we want to open it up to the group for questions as well. What's maybe some good advice or maybe the best advice you might be able to pass on to a fellow entrepreneur? What have you learned that you'd love for someone else to know?
A couple things. Location. I'll never take that lightly ever again. And even in the food truck, we were parked sometimes over at like Hirschfield's. We got 3 people come up for the whole day. We go by atypical and we'd sell out. And so location. Don't give up. That's another huge thing is just don't give up. It's some days you'll be sitting in bed or laying in bed and just crying. And you know what? If you give up, you don't know where you could go next. And there's so many analogies and so many things that it takes. Our pastor just said one, and I don't remember all of it, but there was so many tries on one thing that the next time that person tried that thing, that's when it was successful. So never give up. If you have a dream, maybe shift it. Maybe do something a little bit.
Tweak it.
Right. Maybe do something different. But as far as if you have something that you know, make sure you communicate with people. Find a banker. Find a friend. Who knows in this town who you know? Because in the restaurant industry, we did not know who was coming, but I see police officers, I see detectives, I see doctors, lawyers, I see everybody. And so when people come by, they are okay to be willing to help you. Mm-hmm. So just talk. Don't be scared to talk to the community.
I think you're great at that. I think you're very open about your business. You're very willing to share. I think that's what makes you very successful is you lean into understanding your customer and you want that customer to be happy. So yes. Kudos to you.
Thank you.
Okay, what questions do we have from the group today? Questions do you have for Heidi?
Yeah, so how many employees do you guys have at the Dakota Square Mall? It's just you and Steve?
So my sister-in-law helps us. My son is actually a full-time employee, and we have one kid that's 16 that does the till. So, okay. And if you really want to talk about it, our 12-year-old, she also does the till. So if you want to call her an employee, but as far as cooking and doing all the food-wise, it's just Steve and myself, and then our son does sous chef, and then his sister cleans meat sometimes.
So I got kind of a follow-up to that. Is it fun working with family, or can it be stressful working with family?
Both.
Okay.
Both. Work with your spouse and you'll have a strong marriage sometimes. It can be hard. I will tell you that I'm thankful that Target is by, because when I'm stressed out or if I have a bad day, I will just walk through Target because there's your retail therapy. Okay. There's a coffee shop if you need to get some Starbucks and stuff. So sometimes, if I get, but it's very rewarding and sometimes very stressful.
Okay. A little bit.
We haven't killed each other yet.
Good.
And we've been married just about 15 years, and we've been in business together in 2015.
Okay, so 10 years of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kudos to you guys. Okay, what other questions do we have for Heidi? I'm curious, Heidi, from a standpoint of location,
yeah.
Did you ever think that the downtown location wouldn't work out after a while? Were you 6 months in and you're like, I got to make sure I find a new one? Or how fast did you realize that location maybe wasn't perfect?
Really quickly, actually. Okay. There's no parking there.
Oh, okay.
There's no parking. And the tenants that were in the building, it was just a tougher situation. There was a lot of volunteers coming in that building, so they didn't know where to park, so they would park right
where you wanted your customers to park.
Yeah, and then so when Trinity left, so of course downtown is when Trinity left in April of that same year, I guess in the next year, in 23 they left. And so we were like, oh my goodness, right over by the funeral home, there's that parking lot. Nobody uses that parking lot. Nobody.
They want to park on the street. They want to park closer.
And if you park on the street, you're getting a ticket because the downtown location right there, they had ticketing. And man, she was so good at ticketing, even if they would run inside for 5 minutes. I mean, they'd come in and they'd be like, look, I got a souvenir, like a $30 ticket. And so, yeah, it was stressful because, you know, and that's why when we had the North location, we were so excited because the parking was great.
Yeah,
there was a drive-through window, there was a pickup window, but it just didn't work. It was maybe too far north, or I don't know. Do I think that if we closed the mall and opened north, would we do okay? Yeah, we would do okay because people love our food.
Find you. Yeah.
But the mall location gets you a lot of tourists, a lot of traffic, a lot of foot traffic. Yeah. And so we do like that location.
Great. What other questions do we have? Yeah.
Heidi, I really appreciated your honesty and transparency and enthusiasm. I think you could succeed at any business you put your mind to. A question about your restaurant. I have a North Dakota palate too. You've got the knoephla soup. Do you have other North Dakota things? And then, did the people that truly like Jamaican, do they have the spicy things that they like too? Do you have a variety for North Dakota and a variety for Jamaican?
We do. We actually, so I'll go on two ways of that. So we have actually made a hot sauce in the restaurant. On the back of my shirt, you'll see that it says Uftaman. Ufta is the North Dakota slang. Man is Jamaican slang. Yeah, man, they always say that. So our hot sauce is called Uftaman, and we actually just created a new pineapple hot and spicy sauce. We also have a North Dakota sweet and sour mango sauce that you can put on all the food. The meat does have North Dakota, so we do it as a mild meat. Our jerk chicken is seasoned mildly. So you can put jerk sauce on it, which is like a barbecue type flavor. Now, jerk is actually seasoned from Jamaica. It starts with Scotch bonnet pepper. Depends on how much you use, how long you use it, and that kind of stuff. And so, yeah, if you use a hot and spicy, it will burn you. And there's a lot of people that like that. I am not. So we do have a lot of options as far as our jerk chicken mac and cheese. And then our rice and beans actually have no heat to it. So, and then people love our veggies. They die over our veggies. It's a cabbage and carrots. And then we do a spicy bowl. And the funny thing about the spicy bowl, that actually got invented about a year ago. How that did is, because I was looking at different things and I told my husband, hey, look, there's this quinoa option. And he goes, we don't make quinoa in Jamaica. And I'm like, but we're not in Jamaica. Like, it's a healthy option. And he said, no. And so I'm looking at other things online and stuff. So I look, and so we use the seasoned rice. So we just took the beans out the rice. Took the beans out of the rice. A lot of North Dakotans don't like beans, actually. So we actually do a lot less beans, but now he makes beans on the side so that some of the Jamaican people that want beans, he puts that on top of it. Yes. Yeah. So we're doing this, and I'm like, we have a mango pineapple salsa that we make for street tacos. And so I was putting this mango pineapple salsa on the rice, and I put the chicken on, and I'm taking jerk sauce. In my mind, jerk sauce was barbecue sauce. I don't know what I was thinking that day. I knew that it's not barbecue, and I'm pouring it on. And it's so pretty. It's in all of our pictures. It's a beautiful dish, and I take a bite of it. Almost divorced my husband that day. It was so spicy, but now we use that same plate, and we sell out of that plate a lot of times now, just because the salsa is very unique flavor and people love it. But we do have a lot of options. And then if you come in and you're like, hey, I don't know about it, we'll actually give you free samples.
I think that's awesome. I think that's great. And it's smart marketing and advertising to that customer. You don't want to lose them.
Nope.
And you want them to have a good first or second experience. They're not going to come back if they miss the mark 2 or 3 times. You may not get them ever again. Yeah.
So we'll actually so if you come in and you're like, oh, that's too spicy, he'll start making sauces. He'll start mixing different sauces. Our mac and cheese. So, I mean, go to our menu a little bit. So we've got the jerk chicken rice bowl, the jerk chicken pasta, and the jerk chicken mac and cheese. The jerk chicken pasta is a jerk Alfredo sauce, and we use cavatappi noodles with the boneless jerk chicken. And the jerk chicken rice bowl was it wasn't a mistake, but it was an accidental dish because we were at a catering one time and we didn't have anything except for rice and boneless chicken, and we were starving. And so we put that on, and Steve goes, I have a revolution. I have an idea. So he's like, let's put the Alfredo sauce on that. And I'm very like traditional. That only goes on noodles. You can't put that on. We sell that rice bowl a lot. And so those are very similar.
I can speak to the awesome variety of the food. And I love that you have 3 or 4 or 5 things that you sell, and you sell them really well.
Yes.
You don't have 28 things that I'm going to, get confused about or kind of get up there and just kind of like, I don't know what to pick.
Yeah.
You give me good choices.
Yeah.
There's not too many. And so I'm a repeat customer.
Yes.
So can you tell us your...
Hasn't gotten knoephla soup yet.
But I haven't yet because I'm always there at 5 o'clock and you're sold out. Can you tell us your store hours and then we'll wrap it up from there? Remind us when you're open.
Okay. Our store hours are, we actually just changed. So we're closed on Sundays, open Monday through Saturday, 11 to 6:30. Now, I did want to tell you one new thing that we do have coming on that
great.
will probably help you out.
Okay, great.
Okay, so we have the original tenant that was in there had a bakery case. We're moving that bakery case out. And we are actually putting a cold bakery case in there, which we will have extra quarts of knoephla soup.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
We'll
so
buy that.
we're gonna have
Okay.
a cold case that'll have TV dinners. So we're gonna actually reduce some of our sort sizes. So if you wanna just have a grab and go option, there'll be 16-ounce grab and go options. They'll all be cold. And so people have those, and then our salsa, juices, and all of our hot sauces will be able to be on there. We're actually getting ready to have exclusively in Garrison, North Dakota.
Oh, okay.
My aunt has a shop there, this, that, and more. And so she's gonna have our soup out there in quarts. So if you can't get in Minot, you can
I have to go to
Garrison.
Garrison. Okay. Well, perfect. Let's have another round of applause for Heidi. And thank you so much for coming in, Heidi. Quick reminder, Start Up Minot is the second Thursday of every month. I mentioned this at the very beginning. I'll say it again. Next month is a special one. We're hosting the Economic Development Association of North Dakota's Fall Conference in Minot in October. And so we're going to move this event just this one time. We're going to move this in October to Alshire Theater at Hartnett Hall at Minot State University. And I'll get an email out to the group. We'll put it up on Facebook as well, but that's just for October. We'll have a special panel. It'll still be the second Thursday at 7:30 in the morning. So we hope to see you there next month. Thank you.